Connecticut gun control in 2025. Welcome to Lock and Load Podcast. My name is Josh.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're here to talk to you about Connecticut 2A issues. So today's podcast is talking about Connecticut General Assembly's new proposed laws in this long session. So you guys have joined us before, and we have talked, obviously, about our wonderful Hartford legislation.
It's that time of year again, everybody.
It is. So we're going to go through some bills that CCDL is tracking. We are just kind of sharing and talking about this information. We didn't come up with this information. We just know how to read things and tell you guys about it. So if you want this information, ccdl.us, you click on resources, click on CCDL Gun Right Bill Watch 2025, and then read. We are first starting off with the only bill currently on here that is in the opposed category. So 100% we're opposing this as CCDL members, as gun owners. And let's read you the sentence. So it's HB 5487, an act concerning legal liability for the owner of a firearm whose firearm is used in the commission of a felony or misdemeanor. So that was a lot of words right there, right? What does this translate to?
It's a lot of something.
To provide that civil action may be brought against a gun owner whose firearm is used in the commission of a misdemeanor or felony, and that a prevailing plaintiff in such action shall be entitled to damages, costs, and attorney fees. Now, this is being brought up by one representative, Jeff Luxembourg, out of the 12th District. I'm going to assume he's probably a Democrat.
No. You think?
Oh, yeah. Connecticut House Democrats. What a surprise.
From Lower Fairfield County by any chance?
What is the 12th? Manchester.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Really?
So he's the only one bringing up this bill. It is going to the Judiciary Committee. So that's where a lot of the anti-gun bills do start.
Almost all gun bills start there. And then they may
or may not get out of that.
Right. What they do is they take all the bills and they may meld some together. They may add some stuff to it, take some stuff out. Then they sit down. They decide whether it's worth taking a vote on. If it does, then the committee takes a vote. Then it goes to the floor for a full vote if it's called. So there's a lot of steps in all of this.
We do have some pro 2A guys on the Judiciary Committee.
Several.
Craig Fishbein, I think, is one of the ranking members.
Yes.
You have Sampson on there, and you have Dubitsky and Donna. Donna's on there too.
Isn't Nicole Claridis still on that too?
I don't know the other names. I just know those four.
There's a few. There's a few gun people on there.
That's good, right? That'll help. Obviously concerned about that.
Big time.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they caught this, and this concept came forward because, now mind you, one person proposed this. However, he didn't propose it on his own. They've all been talking. He just put his name on it. But like
the ammo tax bill.
Yes. But in a couple of different states, they're actually trying to charge parents of children who steal guns and do a shooting.
Yep.
This would affect that. So it would affect if somebody breaks into your home and uses a gun, now they're saying you're liable.
Yep.
This is not okay.
No, it is not.
This needs you guys to pay attention when CCDL comes out with their legislative action and says, we need help right now, write testimony. And when we follow up and do a podcast, because we will right away, we need you to send an email. It's super easy. If you haven't done it before, we'll show you how. But you can go to the ccdl.us website and it's all there. The email's actually written for you.
Yep.
So there's no reason not to oppose this. I don't want to see 500 or 1,000. There are over 300,000 permit holders in this state. Let's get our numbers up on this because this isn't okay, guys. You shouldn't be liable if somebody steals your gun or uses your gun. They already stole.
I'm sorry, somebody stole my car. I'm not liable for that. Same concept, right? So that is the big anti-gun bill that CCDL is 100% not supporting. There are a ton of bills that CCDL is watching closely. And then there's actually surprisingly a good amount that they're trying to support this year.
This year we had a lot of good gun bills set up. Now, with that being said,
there's going to be some pretty probably anti-gun bills besides that one.
No, not even that, because everything's been proposed already.
Is it? Well,
yeah.
But they can keep proposing them.
Yes.
I think until May or something.
But for the most part, here's your hit.
Yeah.
But the issue is we don't have a majority up in Harvard.
No, we don't.
So even though these bills are really good bills and we need to support them, and you do need to also send testimonies to support them, there's a very slim chance anything's going to go anywhere with it. In reality,
you need to vote better. I keep telling people.
Yep.
So let's go through some positive bills here. SB 49, an act authorizing the killing of bears that injure or kill livestock or other domestic animals. So you want to get charged with crime in that one. An act establishing a non-refundable personal income tax credit for the purchase of a gun safe.
Nice.
That's SB 117.
So instead of it just being, and that's also in finance.
Yeah,
by the
finance board. So not judiciary.
So not just being tax free, you'll actually get a credit back, which would be lovely if they're going to charge us with all of these things and have to use saves. It'd be nice if they gave us a benefit back.
SB 234, an act prohibiting the municipality regulation of firearms. So to prohibit any municipality from adopting any ordinance or any other regulation concerning the regulation of firearms. Interesting.
You missed 203.
No, that's just a
okay.
269, an act requiring the state to enter reciprocity agreements with other states regarding permits to carry a pistol or revolver, and that's to provide gun permit reciprocity.
Because we right now don't play nice.
No, we don't honor any other permits.
Correct.
Our permit is honored in other states, but we don't honor any of their permits. So that'll be interesting.
I think if things go the way they are, it will be a non-starter, though it won't matter.
Yeah. That 5011 was kind of the same there. So this is interesting. HB 5067, an act concerning Castle Doctrine, to adopt and incorporate the Castle Doctrine into the Connecticut General Statutes, which is weird because we have Castle Doctrine. So I'm kind of confused on this bill.
Maybe
it's 5067.
I don't know.
It should just be on the second page. It was introduced by Brian Lannery, 45th District. There's not much text with it. So I'm just kind of confused by it, to be honest, because we have Castle Doctrine here.
It's not as we do, but it's not as strong. They may be
trying to increase it.
They're saying incorporate the Castle Doctrine into the general statutes.
There's like no text in the bill. I just read the bill. It's literally those two sentences.
They may be just trying to make it stronger. That would be my guess. And if it's in all the general statutes versus a certain area, it may, I don't know. This is just me spitballing here.
Yeah. SB 495, an act prohibiting any requirement that a firearm seller sends a copy of the sale or transfer of firearm form to the local police authority where the firearm purchaser resides. That would save us money and postage and time.
Yes.
So when you guys buy a gun, your DPS-3 form, that little paper you get from us that you sign on, that you keep with the gun, well, you get a copy. It's electronic like it is at our store. Then it's automatically sent to the state police. And then we have to print a copy and mail it to your local police department. And honestly, I think a lot of local PDs just boop in the shredder or throw it in a pile.
And I have done some research on this, as you know, with my list that we send out to all the towns. And I reached out to every single police department and asked them if they wanted them emailed so that I could just download them and email them to them, which would save postage for the store. I actually had, I've also talked to Rob Sampson about this. So I'm wondering if this
Sampson is introduced by him, Craig Fishbein, so co-sponsors Mark Anderson, Craig Fishbein, and Ann, I don't know how to say her last name.
So
44th district.
maybe somebody's listening then, because I talked to him about it, and then I talked to a state resident trooper who was actually he's a statey, and I don't know what his position really is besides resident trooper, because he's like, I like this idea so much, I'm going straight up to the commissioner and I want to talk about this because this doesn't make any sense that you have to do this. Mm-hmm. So this would be lovely. Oh my God, the hours and the money.
Yeah, I mean, just postage. I mean, the hours I pay an employee to do it. I mean, you do it for that's your other store.
We spend about $500 a month on postage alone, not including my time.
Yeah.
And not including the, trying to scan them,
paper,
which is the time.
The ink.
Yes.
Like this is, you know what? There should be an environmental bill. The amount of ink and paper we save, and electricity.
Trees. No, we don't save trees in Connecticut. We talk nice, but we actually don't do it.
All right, next one. SB 500, an act to eliminate the restriction of carrying a handgun in state parks and forests for self-defense.
Nice.
This is an active lawsuit. It's in the Second Circuit. Cameron Ackerson is doing this. There also was an arrest last year for this exact thing. So that'll get brought up in court at some point too. So we'll see what happens with that. What this currently means is you cannot carry a gun in a state park.
Correct. Or forest.
Or forest, sure. Park, there's probably forest there. So SB 529, an act concerning the transfer of firearms as part of an estate to allow a state to transfer firearms without restrictions.
Yes.
This is probably have to do with A, assault weapons, B, the amount of guns, the 3 guns a month, because that is a problem still that we come up with the states.
And I know that SLFU is backing this.
Yes.
So that may help us because we have that department actually saying they need to eliminate.
Yeah, it's just causing a mess. Like if grandpa dies and grandpa has 10 handguns and you only can get 3 a month, well, that means I'm storing guns for 4 months here. Right?
Even wait until, I have people that have 78.
Yeah.
And then they have to redo probate because the probate paperwork will expire before they can get all the guns.
Yeah. So, and it's money grab on probate there.
Yep.
What we got? HB 5209, an act limiting orders related to firearm and ammunition during civil prepared or public health emergency to prohibit the governor or any other municipality from restricting lawful possession of firearms or ammunition during a civil preparedness or public health emergency. Okay.
Well, that was learned when
probably during COVID.
COVID too.
Yeah, Katrina.
Katrina hit.
Utah has a law for that too.
And they went into an emergency status
and started taking guns from
and they
people.
said everybody couldn't have their guns.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then during COVID, they tried to stop the sale of guns because they wanted to shut down that department, and that was kicked back and told them, no, you have to stay up. We actually, CCDL actually put that in and had an injunction put down on them. But to put it on the books would be fantastic.
HB 5210, an act concerning the sale of ammunition at gun clubs and firearm ranges. This is to allow a gun club or firearm range to sell ammunition for use at such club or range to any person without requiring such person to hold an ammo certificate. So those old guys, right? The old guys that didn't get the permits, that don't have an ammo certificate, that they can go and sell them ammo for the range. Or that also says out-of-state people.
Correct.
Right?
That's where you're going to hit most of it. And sometimes you have younger than 21 coming in to shoot trap or shoot something, shoot a competition. No, that's awesome.
HB 5211, an act concerning compliance with requirement that certain information regarding firearms may be posted publicly. To determine the level of compliancy with the requirement to publicly post information about firearm pertaining rights, specifically in section 2932C of the general statutes. Don't really know what that one is, but it's in there. CCDL says support it.
Yeah.
Probably have to do a little bit more research on that one.
Reading this, what they're going to want to do is see what the compliance level, make the compliance level public as far as all of these safety and these rules, any of the rules. Is the compliancy better? Like, is it working? Did it make a difference?
HB 5717, an act concerning firearm magazine limits and declarations. I believe this is brought up by Fishbein. I do want to go and click on it. No, Mark Anderson again out of the 62nd district.
Thank you, Mark.
This is to eliminate the ammunition capacity limits on firearm magazines, eliminate the requirement to declare firearm magazines, and require the state to destroy records of such declarations. I haven't met it. I don't think I've met this guy before, but I like that. So that's a proposed bill to eliminate the magazine restrictions.
But how do you do a new bill? I thought you had to amend an old bill in order to take it off. I didn't realize you could do that.
Supersedes, maybe.
Interesting.
We got another one about Castle Doctrine there.
To fully adopt. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then 5637, an act eliminating fees related to the procurement of certain permits. So to eliminate all fees related to the procurement of permit to exercise any constitutional rights.
Nice.
I'm guessing fly. This is by Gail Manifesco. I'll say her name right one day.
I think, to be totally honest with the state, if and it's probably the only place I'd really compromise, is I can see a nominal fee to pay for, as you know, with me owning a business, it takes time to process, and you have to pay an employee to do such process. So
I think it's talking about eliminating like the fees, like the background check fees during the postal permit process. I think that's what that's talking about.
I don't know. It looks
what that sounds like.
Maybe. And I can see that.
Because it's a constitutional right. It's an act concerning a constitutional right. So like, Southington charges like $140 to like do the applications.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Between fingerprints and processing and the online application.
Okay, that's
and all
normal.
that stuff.
Yep. Okay.
Right. And then your $70 actual license fee. So I think that's kind of what that bill's for.
Like Pennsylvania, whether it's in-state or out of state.
It's like $35.
20.
Okay.
For 5 years. And literally they have it from beginning to end in about 45 minutes tops. Yeah. So there's no reason that they should have to have all this. This is good to see. They came out kicking and screaming on this for this session.
Yeah.
Interesting to see if anything actually makes its way to the end. Again, I'm not hopeful.
I skipped through a few pages. HB 5800, an act concerning funding for rifle teams at technical schools. Okay.
Nice.
HB 5912, an act authorizing the use of firearms fitted with sound suppressors by hunters. So you cannot hunt in Connecticut with a suppressor.
No.
Because I guess Bambi needs to know the shot's coming.
I don't know what the reason was.
I really don't know either.
I don't know.
So I've seen some things on CCDL already because this got posted on there. What people call FUDs. Like, I've been hunting for years and I never needed a suppressor. That's why you can't hear, Bob.
It is
I would
better
like
for
to
hearing.
It's hearing, right? Neighbors.
And you can't have muffs on necessarily when you're hunting because you can't hear where the animal is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let's make things a little bit of hearing safe.
They have a lot of Castle Doctrine.
Yeah, another one here. To adopt standard ground law and remove the duty to retreat. Somebody introduced that. HB 6151.
That's awesome.
By Joe Hoxa.
Yep.
HOXHA, 78th District. No co-sponsors. That's disappointing. A
lot of these are just going to be place setters. It's just putting them up.
That's it. That's all I got, I think.
It might just be him, but that's fantastic.
I'm out of pages.
And again, there's a lot of bills that they're watching too, guys.
So we skipped over all the watching bills, guys, because there is, I mean, if you look at Michele right now, like that stack of papers, double stacked, I think it's 14 pages, right? 7 back and forth. And
it's not big print. It's baby print. This is not old lady print.
So there are a lot of bills that CCDL is currently watching. But those are the ones so the ones I just rambled off there is a lot of support. There were 3 separate Castle Doctrine and then a stand your ground one. That's interesting.
That makes me happy.
I think a majority are not going to get passed, unfortunately, but
we can be I change it. I said I wasn't hopeful. I can be hopeful, but reality says probably not.
Yeah. So definitely some not happy bills in there, especially if we went through all the ones that we're watching.
There are some other ones, guys. Don't think that just because there's one that we oppose that's the only one.
Yeah.
That's not the case. We have to see how they go.
Yeah. I'll ramble some off. An act concerning studies of background check and errors, an act concerning hunting on Sundays, bear hunting in Litchfield County, authorizing Sunday hunting.
I'm not so upset about the the background checks
of
as far
bear
as
stuff.
the mistakes that they're looking for, because that's not on our end. That's
Yeah.
on that SLFU, and there are a lot of background check mistakes being made.
An act requiring the Commissioner of Emergency Services and Public Protection to acquire a federal firearms license. Okay. I don't know why. Thoughts? An act concerning submission of certain pistol permits directly to the Division of the State Police, so not going through the town.
That I don't mind that.
I feel like that'd be interesting. I feel like that should be a support.
But as far as the FFL, the commissioner holding an FFL, I don't know that I agree with that, because that changes. If you want the commissioner's office, so you have a state FFL through the commissioner's office,
Well, why?
figure
Why
that
have
out.
the FFL?
Huh?
They're a police entity. Why did
I don't know. It might be so that the departments go through this to get their, because not all departments, some have a private FFL, like one of their officers have an FFL that they go through.
So there's one here allowing off-duty law enforcement to carry on school grounds. I don't think that's a bad idea.
I think all of us should be able to. Why just a cop? Yeah, I said it.
Checking through, just skimming through some other ones here. Act allowing purchase and possession of importation of large capacity magazines. Interesting.
What exactly is importation? Is that if I go to the store and buy some? Or
I
is that
don't
if
know. You know what? Let me go click on there for you.
Like, what is
that? Allow the purchase, possession, and importation of large capacity magazines by a licensed security guard while it's perform. Oh, so it's allowing armed security to carry high caps. Okay. Like armored trucks, right?
Except they're told not to use their gun anyway, so what does it matter?
That is exactly. As somebody who worked for an armored truck company, that is 100% true.
I like that they're offering that up, though.
An act requiring training for mass shooting events.
Yes.
For school resource officers and that stuff. A lot of stuff about bear hunting. Much bear hunting.
Well, every year it fails, but we have more and more bear, and the bear are becoming more and more of a problem.
Aggressive.
Yeah, they're getting used to people. They're getting very used to people, which it's our fault. We keep taking away their home.
An act concerning the duty to retreat in a house of religious worship. So
in churches,
you don't
have
basically
to retreat
making
anymore.
it like a Castle Doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
The reciprocity aspect, there's another separate bill for that. There's some interesting ones here. Allowing police, an act concerning consent searches and police pursuits.
Yes.
Allow police pursuits. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. There's a bunch. We
haven't talked about my store issues on the podcast, but if Southington PD was allowed to pursue them the first time, they would have stopped them.
Yeah.
Instead, 20 seconds into their chase, they stopped the chase.
Well, because they didn't know it was a true felony.
They did. Brian was on the phone with Southington PD.
They have to see it for themselves.
So, but they could have chased. In Florida, they would have sent that car into the bridge.
I'm with you 100%. 100%. I also, like I was saying, there's a lot that are not necessarily gun-related bills, but there's also a bunch of pro-police bills, not as in like, oh my God, you're giving them a ton of power, but it's giving them the ability to actually be a police officer again.
Yep.
Whereas the current administration has stripped it away from them. So if they give some of that back, maybe we won't have as many issues because they can actually do their job.
Yeah. What a novel idea.
I mean, I know I said something about officers having special privileges and I was like, oof, but I have a lot of friends that are officers and I respect the job that they do. I don't think that they're special. They don't think that they're special, but somehow our administration wants to make them special on a regular basis.
But then they want them to do their jobs with one hand handcuffed behind their back.
Correct. And they're always afraid of the liability issue because they stripped away the liability safety net.
Yep.
And people aren't going to do that. And so now we're in a situation where the criminals just run, go, have a nice day. Cause they've made it. So it's a tough balance. So I'm glad to see a lot of these pro-police bills get put out there, and it's not in a way that they're going to overstep, and it's not something we need to be afraid of. It's actually going to help us because they'll actually take care of true criminals.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we will be back, in a week or so with another podcast on something else. We have I think one guest we're trying to work on right now.
It might be tough though, because of the timing.
Yeah. We will see what happens. You guys will hear from us more and more often. I'll do little updates if I need to.
Well, I have another one too. We have two actually, because I have the other one I want to talk to.
Yeah, I have a text message I have to talk to you about afterwards. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it, but and I was excited now. I don't know if she would come on the podcast.
Okay.
But we'll find out. We'll find out. So other than that, guys, make sure to follow us on our socials. Make sure to follow us on YouTube or Amazon Music or Spotify, wherever you're watching this. And then if you stop in either of our shops, let us know that you're watching the podcast.
Please.
Share this too. If you're on Facebook, share this around. Share this to CCDL groups, the CT Open Carry, whatever hunting, whatever groups you're in. Share the videos, guys.
This is the time, guys, to start paying attention. And I know we say it every year, but this is the time. This time and election time are your two most important times of the year in Connecticut, actually across the country. But pay attention. This helps. It makes a difference. We need to have a say. Yep.
So my name's Josh.
And I'm Michelle.
And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Lock and Load Podcast is sponsored by Lock and Load Firearms, Connecticut's #1 rated gun store and pistol permit class on Google. Come check us out, 1573 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike in Southington. Lock and Load Firearms.
Lock and Load Podcast is also sponsored by Patriot Wear Holsters, custom-made Kydex holsters locally made in Waterbury, Connecticut. www.patriotwearholster.com and use code LNL Podcast for 10% off your purchase. Orders available for shipping or pickup at various locations.